Start in the back.
Question for Kevon. It's Leandro Sarhan from ESPN Brazil. I just want to know how you guys feel for Clay after all these years, the tough moments. Now a champion once again when he returns. How do you guys feel?
I'm excited for him, man. He seen all the work he put in and all the dedication and all the hard work he had dealing with those injuries and all the ups and downs he had, and for him to come back middle of the season and to help us win this championship and be a vital part. And people doubted him and didn't know what he was going to be like when he came back, but he came back better than ever on a mission. And he helped us win a lot of games and helped us win this championship. And credit to him. He's a hard worker. He's an ultimate professional, and he's somebody you can always rely on. So I'm just proud to be his teammate and be able to be with him this long.
Shane on the right.
Hey, Kevon. Shane Young with Forbes Sports. Throughout this journey with the Warriors, what has Coach Kerr meant to you personally? And Otto, what is this moment for you like winning a title with this group?
For me, Coach means the world to me. I had a lot of ups and downs in my career since I've been here. Being drafted here and be able to be here for 7 years and be able to learn from him. And he's a guy. He always told me your opportunity's going to come. Just take advantage of it when it does. And sometimes I didn't even deserve an opportunity. He gave me one, and he stuck with me. And I give him a lot of credit for that. And all my hard work has paid off. And he's been a great mentor and coach for me and the whole team. So Steve deserves a lot of credit.
And man, for me, it's an amazing moment. It's what I've been dreaming about since I was a little kid. And to be on this team, on this dynasty team, means the world. I can't describe it. What I'm feeling. It's just amazing.
Steve on the right.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. Steve Kerr was just in here talking about how essential defense was to this championship and pretty much every championship. And he pointed to Draymond as the leader of that. What is it about his leadership style? What is it about his personality in terms of the defensive end for you guys that makes everything work?
Draymond's his personality and his energy, his imprint's all over our team. We kind of play with that same edge that he brings on the defensive end. He's able to do a lot of stuff on the court, and he's able to explain it to guys at a high level too. He makes a lot of plays, and we always talk about Steph on offense, and we kind of compare Draymond on defense to the same type of way. He does a lot for the team. That's things that don't show up in the stat box, and he's just a great leader. He kind of knows how to push buttons and got to know how to make guys play harder. And since I've been here, he's been the leader for this team, and he's won Defensive Player of the Years and done a lot of things. So he's an all-time great defender. He says he's the best ever, and when he does things like he does tonight and throughout this whole year, it kind of proves it.
NBC Sports Bay Area. You've been around Steph for a while now. Just kind of seeing if you could put into words the impact and especially the influence that he's made on the game and the way it's played and the way it's going to be played in the future as well.
I mean, he's changed the game. I think everybody knows that. We call him the greatest shooter for a reason. He's done, single-handedly kind of changed the center and the power forward position, just the way he, plays in pick and roll and the way he plays in space. And, since I've been here, he's does something amazing every year. So I got to see him win a unanimous MVP. Got to see him break the three-point record. I got to see him win 3 championships and win back-to-back MVPs. So it's just, and he has a long list of. He's a great resume. He's considered the best ever, one of the best ever for a reason. He's impacted the game. And when I go back home to Milwaukee and, I watch my AAU team play and practice, everybody want to be Steph. Everybody want to shoot threes. And I'm like, man, we got to work a little bit harder to be able to shoot like him. Like, I see him every day. So it's an honor to be able to play with him and call him my teammate. I learned so much from him and got to experience so much just being on this team. So I want to thank Steph for that.
Go to CJ in the front here.
CJ Holmes, San Francisco Chronicle. Do you gentlemen want to share with the class what was being chanted during that champagne shower back in the locker room?
You can tell them.
Basically, we were saying, "Fuck you, Draymond." That's what we were saying.
Yeah, man, we like.
But it was fun though. It was just, a fun moment for us.
Fun moment. Draymond been yelling at us all year too. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was an inside joke, too.
All right, we'll go to Sam in the middle here.
Good segue, gentlemen. Talk about Dre a little more big picture. When you talk about a guy who we all know he runs hot, we all know his passion is incredibly important to the group, and you've got all this history between Draymond and Steve and Bob and Steph. Just speak to his value and also the roller coaster ride and the idea that you take the good with the bad and then you get results like this.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it's a roller coaster ride, but like there's never been a moment since I've been here where things get tough and he don't show up. He lives for the big moments. We always talking. We do like big, small. We always talking trash. He always say I'm 90% in the clutch. Whenever it's a close game or it's a tough game, we know he's gonna make the play. He's gonna be in the action. He's gonna make something happen. And when you got somebody you can rely on like that and count on, it just gives everybody a confidence boost. He's our leader. We need him to be on edge. We got, him and Steph got really different leadership styles, and they kind of balance each other out. And when you got Draymond out there, putting his body on the line, and he'd be the villain. Whatever you need him to do, he's gonna go out there and do it for the team. And we can't give him enough credit for what he does for us. And we able to play so many different lineups and do so many different things just because of the way he plays and how he's able to cover up for a lot of guys on defense and do different things. So, and all the credit goes to Draymond. I've been learned from him my whole career, and I done learned so much. And he done helped me in my career and be here 7 years to be able to watch somebody like that. And the things he's able to do is special. And I think he don't get enough credit.
We'll go to Maddie on the right with the last question.
When you guys think about everything that you've gone through this season with the injuries, I think you guys were projected to win only 37 games or something like that at the beginning of the season. Everything that you guys have overcome, does that make this moment just a little bit sweeter?
Hell yeah. It makes it way more sweeter. We knew what we had coming into training camp from day one. We knew our goals, what we wanted to do. We didn't really care about the outside influence. We just stuck together. The whole year. We kept working and kept the main goal at hand. And we have a saying, just us, because it's really just us out there. And it's us against the world.
Yeah, he summed it up. It's been a great year. Started off the year hot and got some injuries and adding guys back to the lineup, losing guys every other week, and for us to get it together for the playoffs, we peaked at the right time. It's just an amazing feeling. I don't think nobody had belief in us but us. Coming into training camp, we knew what we had. We knew we had a special group, and even when things were rocky, we never lost that faith. We always had faith that we could do it, and throughout the playoffs, and we got down in this series, and we didn't care. We knew we had the best team in the league. We got the best player in the league, and when you got that going for you, you just had the ultimate confidence. And we've been doing this for a while, and it showed.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
We'll have Gary and Iggy up next.
Well, it was game 106.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy. Nick Young, look what you've done to the NBA players. Or no, it's JR. I'm not Nick. It's JR. Everybody want to walk around without their shirt on. It's IG for you. Take shirtless pics all summer. And a parade.
Oh, that one for sure, JR. For sure. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to start with Davide here on the left.
Davide Chinellato with Gazzetta in Italy. Congrats, guys, for the win. Andre, this is your fourth championship with this team. What makes this championship special more than the others?
This one holds a lot of weight just because of, all the shots, each championship they threw at us, or particularly they threw at Steph, the finals MVP on the first one. And then, KD, probably best player in the world. trying to say that was unfair. And then you go a year where you win, they win 15 games. And then, last year, not being able to get to the playoffs, and for everything to come back together the way it did with me leaving and then coming back, and different role, different capacity, and then having amazing teammates, and a different set of supporting cast. This guy right here was huge for us. Earned himself a big payday this summer. Really happy for him, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, the growth of those guys. But more than anything, Steph. I think he solidified himself today. As not even today, just his career as the best point guard of all time.
Next question in the middle.
This is Daniel Bell, BSO. This is for Gary. Saw the picture with you and your dad. First off, what does it mean to be able to bring another championship to the family? And then how special is it to be able to share that moment with your dad who played in this league?
It's huge. It's crazy. Never would have thought, something like this would happen. And I think I got mine sooner than he got his. So, yeah, and I'm 1 for 1. So we're gonna try to keep it that way. But it's something to talk about, and I can get my stuff off against him now. So it's good.
We'll go to Shane in the middle.
Hey, Andre. Shane Young with Ford Sports. What's it mean to see how Draymond kind of started the series rocky, had a few bumps in the road, but for him to come out and be impactful on both ends of the floor, defensively, disrupting everything tonight? What's his leadership been like for you all throughout this entire journey?
Yeah, you talk about the fabric of this team throughout the last 8 years, and I've been saying this over and over. Those three guys have had this league in the chokehold, in the headlock for a good period of time. And you go historically, there aren't too many teams that have been able to do that. It's a handful. You had the Celtics, obviously, a few times, the Lakers, the Bulls. The Spurs was a little bit more spread out, and they were able to, they did an amazing job as an organization. But what we did, you're watching Winning Time is Magic, 30 for 30, The Last Dance. All those things stand the test of time, but it's only a few of those, and this falls right in line with that, and that's probably the most beautiful thing. And you need to have a certain type of fabric, and Draymond was, the balance between two guys who grew up in the NBA. They aren't enamored by, the world that we live in as professional athletes and the glitz and the glamour. And our culture with the Warriors is, a little more carefree and loose, but sometimes that can take you out. Looking last year, not making the playoffs, how many turnovers they had, in the last 2 games to get in. And I think Draymond's discipline, his hunger, his focus, his tenacity is a great balance to those two guys. So it's the yin and the yang, and he doesn't get enough credit for, his brain and the IQ he brings to the game of basketball. It's such a beautiful thing for him to. We knew he was gonna come together. I talked about it in my podcast, Point Forward, where I wasn't worried about Draymond. I think Game 4 they said he didn't play well. How many points he had Game 4? He had 2 points, 4 points, but he had 8. He had 8 points and he had 8 rebounds, 9 assists or something. He was a triple double without the points, and the guys had a triple double without points. How many times has that happened in NBA history? So he's brass and he is who he is. But when you need him, he shows up. And tonight, that triple double alert was right there, and just really happy for him and his future as the new media. The sky's the limit for him.
Next question here in the middle.
Mauro Bevacqua, Sky Sport Italy. 7 years ago today, you won your very first championship. How much has stayed the same? How much has changed throughout this long journey?
Well, if anything, the foundation is stayed the same, and it's a strong foundation. And, you hear about that, the foundation you build on determines the strength of the structure of the building. And like I said, with Steph, Clay, Draymond, what they've done in this league and the foundation they've been able to build, you got to give them a lot of credit. And in 100 years, you're going to be talking about, some of the best players and teams and foundations. And those three guys, they did a template of, how do you build championship pedigree.
Next question, Maddie on the right.
Gary, you were gonna apply for a video coordinator role at the beginning of the season. You were a fringe player for the last few years. I mean, to be here, be an NBA champion, how surreal is this moment for you?
It's just crazy. Just this is a journey. It's been a big learning, experience for me, and I appreciate every moment I had, all the falls, just to, just help me build on, just sticking with it and just keep going. So I'm still speechless right now. Is crazy right now.
Dalton in the middle.
Hey, Andre, Dalton Johnson, NBC Sports Bay Area. You just said that Steph solidified himself as the best point guard of all time. People debate, greatest players ever, all that stuff. But when you think about the influence and the impact he's made on the game, would you put him up there on the Mount Rushmore of the NBA and for how he's going forward?
100%. And you talk about his size. You've never seen a guy his size dominate the league like this, and just to put the weight of everything on his shoulders throughout a final series. We all saw what he was doing to them boys. It was like, normally you get a guy that's a center, like an Akeem or a Shaq or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Those guys are 6'7" and taller, and they can get to their spots, they can shoot over guys. But the guy his height, who's vertically challenged, they would say. You saw it. We all saw it. It was just incredible. He had a pull up in the third quarter from deep. He had a look away three. Pardon my back three. He'd shoot it and walk away. I mean, that's just probably my favorite part of one of the favorite parts of my career from being drafted, playing Olympics and all these things, is just to see that talent like that. And I've said it time and time again. We're getting away from appreciating. I call them gods, but that very unique talent, generational talents, because we're so close to them, we don't appreciate them as much. And when he's gone, we're really going to miss him and forget, how much of an impact, not just on, the Warriors or the NBA, but on the entire globe. Like, he made the world move.
Thank you, guys.
Who's coming up here, Clay?
Hey, I just want to say what up to the gang. Shout out to Vegas. Hey, this is the gang right here. Shout out.